What is up, Dolphin fans? Another Dolphin Collective coming to you with four of the greats. Two of the greats. I'm not great.
Yeah,
you guys, the guys to my left are the greats.
What
Alan
are you
Papar,
talking about?
Omar Kelly.
You're like one of the greatest content creators of this era in
Isn't he the OG? Isn't he the OG?
He is the OG. He's got the biggest following. People need to invite him on their podcast so they get relevance. Like, come on, man. Don't cut yourself short.
No, I'm just a guy. I'm a guy from
years,
Jersey.
baby. Go.
How many years?
7.
7? Damn. You the OG.
No, me and TD started at the same time. Were you a little before or after me, TD?
I think you got me by one. What's your date?
I did I think my first video was when we traded Jarvis Landry. So I think it was like right before training camp and free agency.
Damn.
You got me by 2 months.
That was my first. I went back and watched that.
Yeah, I just hit 7 years. Yes, last month.
If you go back and watch my stuff, I used to curse a lot too. Like the
really?
my Colts reaction when Adam Gase wouldn't let Tannehill try to march down the field.
Yeah.
I was like, effing this and effing that and effing mother effing. I was like, I was potty mouth. And then I was like, hey, I should bring it down. Bring the jersey down a little bit, Doug.
The profits too.
That's true.
You know who the original content creator for Dolphins was? They did Madden and Talk Dolphins. K Flexen.
Don't know.
He was the first one. There was nobody else.
Yeah.
And when me and Doug started, we didn't even know each other existed until like maybe August or something. Yeah,
man. I will say this. Literally, you guys are some of the originators. I didn't even know your roots went that deep, TD, to the point where you birthed some people. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna say no names. Listen, but mad respect to all the content creators out there. Huh?
Did you say he burped?
Oh my
He
God.
birthed.
He burst. I thought you said he burped some people.
Some things died, put roses on it and everything, bro. And then we move forward. Oh my boy, you messy.
Me messy? I'm not messy like that.
Leonardo messy.
I'm just saying, mad respect to the content creators out there. All of those guys who can create content and people actually like their personality. Y'all.
Oh, you threw that in there at the end. Nice.
Oh boy. Anyway,
it's all love, everybody. It's all love.
No drama.
Dolphin Collective is brought to you by BetUS. Go check them out. Use the promo code YouTube150. Get 150% on your first deposit, 125% on your next two, up to $2,000. Go check them out. Also, we got a podcast. All of our stuff, if you want to listen to it in the car, go to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcast, and you can listen to us yell at each other for a little bit. Blast it, have the windows down. People think you're arguing with somebody in your car. It's fun. Do it. Also, if you want to do something, join the membership. You get custom emojis, monthly member messages, name in the outro, and you get access to members only live chat. So
yes,
do it. We already got one. Someone joined the membership and we weren't even live yet. Over here, Jason Jenkins.
Listen, I like Jason Jenkins. One, he's got the name of a legend.
Yes, sir.
Jason Jenkins, who is a legend, who is now deceased. Former vice president of the Dolphins. And two, I've just known him on the Twitter streets because of his name. So welcome. We appreciate you. We appreciate everybody who joins in.
Yes.
This is what I was trying to throw up Tuesday that wasn't working from BetUS.
Okay.
Dolphins win after the first 5 games.
I have a question before we answer, David.
Shoot.
How many of those does Tua play? No, I'm just saying. I got a
legit question, though.
I got a
legit question. Like, I can't even hate you for that because it's
last year was week 3, right?
We do play Buffalo week 3.
Week 2. Oh man.
I'm going with 2 wins. I think that's my safe money.
That's it.
I mean, I would love to say 3 wins, but I mean, I really don't get my bang for my buck by going by 3. They're both plus 200. So, you know,
Omar, you chasing the money or the win?
Money.
That's why you lose. You got to go for the win so you can get some money.
So for people who don't remember, the first 5 games are at the Colts, home 1 o'clock for the Patriots, at Buffalo. I think that's Thursday night, of course. Then Monday night versus the Jets home, and then 1 o'clock against the Panthers. I could see 3.
I could see 3, but that Patriots game a little scary for me.
Vrabel scares me 100%.
Yes. If you look at Tennessee's history against the Miami Dolphins, and I know he's not coaching Tennessee, but he's going to build a similar team. They're always physical. They're always in your face. They're always punch first. And if you look at the Dolphins and how they're built during the Chris Greer tenure, if you look at the Dolphins organization, how they play teams with that style and approach, it has never turned out good for them.
Except that game is a Sunday, 1 p.m. in September. Vrabel and the Titans defeated the Dolphins 2 years ago. It was on a Monday night game in December. And that September home field advantage for afternoon games is massively significant. I would be more worried about the Patriots later on in the year. I have them 3-2 after 5 games.
Well, I have them 4-1.
Buffalo's your 1.
Yeah,
I agree.
No room for slip ups. And Daniel Jones right now looks like he's a starter for the season opener because of Richardson's shoulder injury. Shoulder injuries in quarterbacks never go well.
Well, unless you're Drew Brees, and then we pass on you, and then you go on to be a Hall of Famer.
You know, a great question on that. Would Drew Brees have become Drew Brees with the Dolphins?
I would say no. I think Sean Payton had a lot to do with his overall development. There are certain guys in this league that are known with a reputation of being quarterback whisperers, quarterback developers. Sean Payton is one of them. We see what he's doing right now with a rookie that nobody really thought was anything special. So how many coaches would Drew Brees have had?
Oh my God. You think Saban would have left if he had Brees?
Saban said he wouldn't have left if he'd had Drew Brees.
Saban's full of crap.
He is, because he did tell us he wasn't leaving.
He wanted to be a god, and that Miami would have never provided him that, a god ability.
Okay, listen. I will say this though: Drew Brees likely wouldn't have become the Drew Brees he was. Still would have been better than where the Dolphins rolled out a quarterback in 2005, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Yeah, 100%. I got a question for you guys. You know how we all say that Cleveland and New York are like the place where quarterbacks go to die? Is Miami turning into that?
I've never said Cleveland and New York are the places where quarterbacks go to die.
Cleveland
they are.
Cleveland is.
I mean, Baker Mayfield did quite well, and then got shown the door.
He wouldn't welcome me. He wouldn't die.
He's you're not bad enough. You gotta go.
Deshaun Watson, his career went to die.
Doug, who was good, joined the Dolphins and took a dip, if we're going to be honest about it.
Who's good?
That's a good question.
Who was good, joined the Dolphins, then took a dip? I mean, if you look at the guys
Trent Green.
Trent Green was 37. He got concussed and he was done. That was his career.
Yeah, I mean, but he was a perennial playoff caliber quarterback.
But by the time he joined the Dolphins, his best years were back there.
Dante Culpepper. Culpepper was trash.
Except was Dante Culpepper a product of playing with Randy Moss and Chris Carter and Robert Smith? And
he also had his mobility back then, which he didn't have
until he went to the Raiders. Remember that touchdown he took in? He pointed to his knee.
It was one game. One game. A revenge game.
I said David Garrard.
I will argue to you that.
But TD, that's another injury. David Garrard blew out his knee in training camp.
He didn't get hurt, Tannehill doesn't start, in my opinion.
That wasn't even up for debate.
Yeah, correct.
David Garrard was smoking Tannehill in training camp.
I forgot we had Cutler.
And I would argue to you that Ryan Tannehill never beat out Matt Moore. Ever.
Yeah.
There was never a battle.
There was never a battle. They went into that week of practice. Yep. They didn't give Moore a fair opportunity to work with the starters. They gave Tannehill the start in the Carolina Panthers exhibition game in 2016, and then when Matt Moore came in with the backups, there was like a hailstorm, and obviously they couldn't really do anything. Competition over.
Mm.
So you think Matt Moore was better?
Matt Moore was better. Matt Moore
and Ryan Tannehill.
You'd have lost it all.
Matt Moore was better than Ryan Tannehill.
He's a Tannehill near.
I could promise you, TD, there isn't a single player on that team, defense, offense, wide receiver, who would tell you that they wouldn't have rather Matt Moore be their starting quarterback.
Weren't they upset when they went back to Tannehill? Like, wasn't there? Because I remember something like that where like the players were kind of like.
What do you mean by went back?
They never
that they didn't stick with Moore after Tannehill got hurt.
Injuries.
You mean when he came? No,
I don't remember that. I remember the failed wide receiver coup. But that's water under the bridge.
I got a question for you guys, the insiders. What really happened at that practice where Tannehill went off saying like something about I get paid more or?
It was. Who was the pass rusher that I really like? Chris McCain.
Yeah.
Chris McCain was like destroying him like he usually does, from what I've heard. And Tannehill was getting upset. And then Chris McCain started talking crap about how he sucks. And then Tannehill basically went back at him like, I make more money than you'll ever make in your life. Like, and from that point, it was like, everybody was just like, yeah, this guy's bragging about how much money he makes and he sucks.
And who won that little skirmish?
So do you think that was a bad thing that he was bragging about how much money he makes?
I really don't care. It was, it was a bad look from everybody's standpoint, but they just covered it up like it didn't happen, which it is what it is. Nobody cares. It's practice crap. How much stuff, like I remember that Christian Wilkins, Liam Eichenberg practice we heard in the tunnel we were inside because it was raining. It was a training camp. I had never heard a grown man be verbally abused as much as Christian Wilkins abused Liam Eichenberg. Wow. Like it would have, and I know Christian Wilkins destroyed his confidence that season. Like it was gone.
So it's Christian Wilkins' fault.
Oh yeah, and he did it intentionally. Yeah, and he did it intentionally.
I'm with that Eichenberg break going forward, man.
See, there you go.
It's so funny too, because it's like you see the mic'd up stuff where he's like, "You don't say that," and like all that stuff. Different person.
Christian is dirty. Christian is very filthy, dirty mouth.
In a good way, or
not only that, he's got this thing going. He's got a loose hand and pileups.
Yeah,
Christian as Josh Allen.
Christian is
that is my favorite.
Huh?
Dude, there's one in
favorite
college
that apparently he grabbed Josh Allen in the skirmish for the ball.
There's one in college that's even worse than that. I mean, that's literally the guy's on the ground already, and there's no pileup. You see him coming out by himself and literally grabs the guy's junk from behind. That's like, what the hell?
Yeah, he getting in your head. I think that's what it is. That's an old school tactic.
I believe
startle him, let go of the ball.
Oh yeah, I remember Rob Hunt was like, "Yeah, I don't talk to Christian." He's like, it's not. He's like, it's not going to go well if you start talking to him. It's not. And so he just like literally just ignored him. But there was no way for Liam Eichenberg to ignore him that practice we watched. Wow. Man, my confidence would have been gone. Like, wow. it was bad.
Did Rob Hunt talk to anybody? He seems like the most quiet.
No, Rob.
No. But he knew better than, and this is why probably nobody else on the team, because ideally you would have liked somebody in the team to say, Christian, like chill out a little bit. But think anybody wanted to get engaged in that kind of. I mean, because he was. Yeah, I remember that day too.
It was like somebody had taken over his body when football games started, and he's just not even there. And what comes out of his mouth, he has no control over. It was. I was just like, damn, like
wow.
It was over the top.
Marcellus is bad for this comment. He's a bad man.
Moving on, Doug, get that off the screen. It's funny, Marcellus, but not funny.
Anyway, I won't even get into the Diddy trial because
no, that's not.
It's
Billy Batson said Rosen wasn't granted the Tua Tannehill plan.
He sucked, but they should have kept him in the lineup if they were going to tank properly. But yeah, it was.
And Brian Flores knew that he couldn't maintain his locker room or keep his team if he had started.
Kept him starting.
Still should have kept him in the starting lineup.
You're not wrong, but
we'd have had Burrow, Allen.
You would have had Burrow. Yes, you're not wrong, but you're not right.
Omar would have won a Super Bowl by now.
No, we wouldn't have.
Yes, we would have.
No.
You don't draft nearly well enough to win a Super Bowl.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what quarterback we would have taken. We'd be in the same
situation. Think about this. Think about it from this standpoint. Like all these people, we would have won a Super Bowl. We would have won a Super Bowl. The closest you ever got, you were a paymaster. You were tricking it off. You just trading and filling voids with money, trick daddy. Your draft sucked. So how you?
I'm sorry, you cannot sit here and tell me in 2023 we wouldn't have at least been in a AFC championship
with Burrow.
Yeah,
Tannehill outperformed Burrow that season.
What happened?
I said Tannehill outperformed. I mean, Tua outperformed Burrow that season.
And when it mattered most.
Maybe.
Man,
I'd say maybe.
It's always when it matters most, and he doesn't show up, and his team
play well in cold weather,
and is like, okay.
See, Allen don't want to get involved, but Allen know what time it is. Allen knows the truth.
I am trying to deflect away from Tua talk because we do this.
I didn't bring Tua up. I was just talking about Burrow.
I don't think you would have been any further along with Joe, better quarterback, same level of fragility, same caliber of arm,
same level of fragility.
Sorry,
what are you talking about?
Okay.
I think
one is spread out. One of them was a long tenure. Like y'all keep trying to compare Burrow's injuries with Tua's. Burrows are not spread out like 2 this season, 2 that one here, one. Burrow had as many games missed because when he got hurt, he missed the rest of almost like 10 games in a season. So it's not the same fragility that y'all keep mentioning. He has been available for his team more consistently versus one big injury that cost almost the whole season twice. Versus somebody who's been hurt technically 6 times, 6 different periods of missing games.
Broken ribs, injured finger, concussion, hip.
That's 6.
All right. So I was right. I was right, Omar. But yes, I know on the other hand, AFC Championship. Wait, did Burrow go to the Super Bowl?
Yes. They lost to the Rams.
Thanks to his defense.
A team went to the Super Bowl.
A team? Did you see that O-line? Did you see the O-line, bro?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did.
Oh, my God.
Who won the Tennessee Titan? Who won the Tennessee Titan playoff game for the Cincinnati Bengals? It wasn't Joe Burrow.
7:50 p.m. on Thursday, June 5th. Omar says the team. Okay.
Who won the Tennessee Titan playoff game? Wasn't Joe Burrow.
Doug, you want to look at stats against playoff opponents or stats in the fourth quarter?
Oh my God!
You're telling me in a 19-16 win
that's not what I said. That game. You're absolutely right. That game, the defense won. You're absolutely right.
That's what I'm saying.
So without the defense, get these things done.
Without the defense, they get knocked out of the playoffs. He doesn't make the Super Bowl.
One game.
But
one
it's the
game
playoffs.
The defense carried.
It's the playoffs. In that game, it mattered. He didn't show up in that game.
How many picks Burrow threw in that game?
1.
What was the stat line?
Playoff game did the defense
he
carry Dolphins?
348, 0 touchdowns, 1 interception, 93 passer rating.
Hey, is that not good?
93 passer rating. That's higher than.
Is that not good in the playoffs?
If Tua,
Mike Vrabel defense,
keep the same energy, because you know for a fact if that was Tua, you wouldn't say Tua did this.
If Tua threw for 348 in the playoffs, Tua threw for 348 in the playoffs. I'd be excited. You better divide that by 3.
Help the team clinch a playoff spot, but you won't give him any of that credit.
He only give it to the kicker. Playoff spot. When did that happen?
Dallas.
So again. How
all say Dallas again?
Tua was a big part of the team's success in 2023.
Keep the same energy. So you're saying Jason Sanders won him that Cowboys game, right? With the 5 field goals.
6 field goals.
You're going to sit here and tell me Joe Burrow, who threw 0 touchdowns,
did Tua have 348 yards in that game versus the Cowboys?
Every week. Every week.
Hold on, Omar. The team.
Every week.
No, TD, give Tua some credit for the performance in 2023. He was very good, and he played a big role in the Dolphins making the playoffs. That cannot be denied.
It's not denied
that Joe Burrow.
It's not denied.
Would have taken the Dolphins further.
But I remember the game Joe Burrow got sacked 10 times and went off in the second half.
Oh hell yeah, Joe Burrow's a different breed of quarterback. No one's denying that. But keep the same energy.
Omar, you don't even make it look like that. Doug, what he just said was
I'm not putting Burrow in the top tier yet. He's right outside knocking on the window.
I get a lot of hate for saying that. I don't think he's elite yet. I think he's very close.
When has he had a down season? When has he showed you that
he starts every season down?
No, the team starts every season.
You want to pull up the stats again?
Now it's a team thing.
You want to talk about the 4 interceptions?
You can't have your cake and eat it too.
You want to talk about the
did you watch that game with 4 picks? They were right in the receiver's hands, plopping up in the air. Come on, man.
I'll bring up. I got him for days. He always starts his season slow. Even against Chicago in 2021, he had 2 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. He always starts slow.
Y'all just said Joe Burrow wasn't elite. That's what y'all just said.
Okay,
he's very close.
Is he in the company of Patrick Mahomes?
He's like
Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen.
He's like in that purgatory in between for me.
Yeah.
Can I throw out a stat here?
Without being mobile.
Can I throw out a stat here?
Sure.
Joe Burrow in the 3 seasons where he wasn't injured, 112 touchdown passes, 35 interceptions. Do the ratio. That's more than 3 to 1.
That's at the second half of the season.
And here I thought of telling people.
We lost him. He's back. He's back.
What, 3 to 1? 3 to 1?
That's pretty damn.
More than 3 to 1.
More than 3 to 1. Man, I'm out here fighting for 1 to 1. Anyway.
No, 2 is over 2 to 1, I believe.
You sure? You sure?
Hate. Hate.
You sure he's over 2 to 1?
Can we move on? Right now. He got us again.
He is more.
No. You sure?
Yes, TD.
What's the numbers?
100 touchdowns to 44 interceptions.
Okay, 2.5. 2.4.
8.
Yeah.
Hate.
Hey, that's my quarterback. We win in the Super Bowl.
No.
You can't.
No more.
Nah.
Not allowed.
I can claim
him. All right.
And it's funny too, because if Tua goes off and say like the first 5 games this season, he's like going off, TD's gonna be like, it's all time. And these people are gonna be like, no, TD, you're not allowed to say anything.
And I'm praising them, and ain't nothing you can do about it. How about that?
By the way, let me do an apples to apples comparison though, because I know people watching are going to complain. So I'm going to be fair. In the 3 years under McDaniel, Tua has 73 TD passes, 29 picks, which is also better than 2 to 1.
Anyway,
and they don't really.
So that's 2.33. That's 2.3.
Let's be real. They don't really throw the ball in a goal to go situation because they can't.
Because they got 5'11" wide receivers.
Are they 5'11"?
I think all of them are. I know Waddle's 5'11". I think
Waddle is 5'11". Waddle's a legit 5'11". Tyreek is 5'10". Tariq's actually listed at 5'10".
Tariq's 5'10"?
Yes, Tariq's 5'10". Jalen is 5'10". They're not 5'11". There isn't a single wide receiver on the team.
I'm not 5'11".
Not even 5'10".
Huh?
I'm not sure Tariq's even 5'10".
No, I think he's 5'10" because I'm 5'10" and a half. Tariq and I are about the same height.
Okay.
Man, I thought Waddle was 5'11".
I thought Waddle was 5'11" too, but it is what it is. They just
they're shrinking in Miami.
It's funny that this Nick Westbrook-Ikhine, everybody thinks that he's like this red zone weapon, and when you watch the film, something that people say that I don't do, of all his touchdowns last year at Tennessee, not one of them a red zone opportunity, not one of them like high point ball or back fade in the back end of the zone. Just
like last year, a bunch of them were from like the 20-30 yard line, right?
Yeah.
Over the middle.
And to be real with you folks, I've been watching and looking for him to make a play, and I don't know if he's hurt or not, but I'm 2 days, 2 practices, yes. But bro, hold on, wait.
Tyreek's 5'10" wearing cleats.
You don't have you're supposed to be developing chemistry with Tua. There is nobody at cornerback other than maybe Cater Kohu, who I guess maybe
they got a 99 Madden card.
Who?
What is it?
Rising Star Madden card. You got a 99.
Oh, he's gonna be a rising star because
he's gonna get forced into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you look at the starting receivers on this team. Tyreek 5'10", Jalen Waddle 5'10", Malik Washington 5'8", Taj Washington 5'10".
Mm-hmm. Taj Washington is not no 5'10". He's probably smaller than Malik Washington. Taj Washington is a very small dude.
And then you have Nick Westbrook.
I think he's a little taller than. But Omar, what I was going to say is I agree with you. In the 2 practices that we saw, I don't know if he's caught a pass in even 7-on-7 actually, or let alone 11-on-11. It's 2 practices.
I know, but now we'll have 3 practices next week, and it'll wrap up camp. And unless this guy's tearing it up on the days that we're not out there, womp womp.
Is the next 3 going to be open to you guys?
Let's be real about this. This organization's history of free agent wide receiver ads, not good.
No. But that market is
Wallace, Ernest Wilford.
Damn, why you got to bring up Ernest Wilford? Why you got?
Because Ernest Wilford only talks on Thursdays.
That wasn't this organization. That was not this organization.
No. It was the Dolphins. And Ernest, did you ever hear about that one, Doug? Ernest Wilford joins the Dolphins, and we approach him to talk to him on a Wednesday in his locker room. Only talk on Thursdays. Ernest Wilford,
who was signed to big money,
who later was converted to tight end because he couldn't cut as a wide receiver.
I remember that.
Who else did they sign as free agents? Brandon Gibson. Why am I not remembering the recent?
Somebody said, bring back David Boston. Wasn't he like 3% body fat and he kept cramping up?
That dude's legs were like this big, and then the upper body was like he was Hercules.
They got him from Arizona, right?
It was a trade. It was a one-on-one trade. It was David Boston for, you know what? No. It might have been like with the Chargers for Jamar Fletcher, maybe.
Yes, it was.
Forgettable Jamar Fletcher.
What's going on with Eric Gesicki? Because he's like the only tall one that has been on the team at 6'2". Like, is he a jag, or is there something there? Or?
There have been flashes in training camp and all that. There's been flashes in training camp. I said what I said, but he hasn't been able to sustain it.
But these guys,
last year he was respectable in training camp. He just suffered like a Liz Frank or foot injury, and they put him on the practice squad all year, just because they didn't want to get rid of him. The investment isn't over, but. Come on.
We bring in a lot of hopefuls at the position.
Mm-hmm.
And none of them end up being a long-term pan out like what's his name? Craycraft.
River Craycraft?
Yeah, like these. No, I'm saying these guys like show up in training camp. You think you might have something. Him as Ukama, all these guys. And it's like, man, you're supposed to be that solidified number 3 one day, but never works out.
Best receiver that I thought could be something was Preston Williams, and
yeah.
That just
that Cardinals game, he really flashed in that Cardinals game.
Injuries too.
Another nice Frank.
Yeah.
Anywho, let's talk about minicamp. Minicamp starts 10th, 11th, 12th. You guys will be open to the media for the 3 days.
That is correct. We will be there.
I'll be poaching all your material.
I thank you. I appreciate you for giving us credit.
Feeding the creators.
Yeah.
Omar ain't right.
Yes.
What reason?
All us media members will be feeding the creators.
Oh my god!
As if not, I'm like, what's going on? I got nothing. And then after that, I got what, 2 months of content I have to make up. I have like a list over here of like 12 things that I want to talk about.
You do? Wow.
Yeah, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 video ideas.
Yeah, I've already scheduled my off season in about 2 weeks. I'm just gonna start throwing shade at Omar so I can get some clicks. And so I'm good. Just get ready for it, Omar.
Hey, wouldn't be the first content creator with that strategy.
Ain't nobody else doing that. You stop it.
Oh man,
y'all think I'm playing? What, 2 weeks on clockwork? You gonna see?
Hey, I might be bored enough to even entertain it.
Hey, let's get it.
What do you guys do in that 2 months that there's nothing?
I'm going to work 3 days a week. No, you're not. Are you going on vacation? Are you doing it?
I'm going on vacation.
Oh, look at you.
I always take a bang up trip in the summer.
I know.
Recharge batteries for training camp.
Yeah, I generally work like 3 days a week and then take the 4 days, 4-day vacations on a period of days, and still continue to, and I think it's important, and this is something I learned from the content creators. I think it's important to feed the people when they're starving. I just do. You will remember the people who fed you when you were starving, and you will always know where to go to. I always used to say that to Pupar when we were trying to learn how to create content.
I'll see you in 2 weeks.
I pre-schedule stuff and then I go on my merry way.
Yeah, that's like I have a series, camp position battles, and then I do each position, so I'll do 2 a week.
Are there really position battles? You tell me.
Hey man, I'm trying here. Drop
that quarterback video, Doug.
That has been a main criticism that I have of Mike McDaniels, and I even called him out the first OTAs. Like, you don't have battles. Like, this cornerback battle is like literally the first legitimate battle that I've ever seen from you, where like the job is wide open. Anybody wants it, you go get it. Like, those don't exist during the Mike McDaniel era.
I want to see it with the backup, but 6 million, you got your backup, and better hope and pray. He continues for quarterback.
Zach.
Oh, you know what? Okay, are we talking about the things that we want to see in minicamp?
Yeah, let's do that. So 3 things that you hope Miami achieves or discovers during minicamp next week. We'll start with you, since you have an idea, you have an epiphany.
Who, me?
Yeah, you.
Okay, me. Okay. I want to see. Let me start this off by saying that I want to see Zach Sieler and Jonnu Smith show up, but not participate in anything. I don't see any reason. I used to say this with Connor Williams and Xavier Howard. I don't see any reason for you to subject yourself to a $17,000 fine, $33,000 fine, $54,000 fine. For what? You could show up, not do anything, come talk to the media, and satisfy all of your agenda, because all you got to do is go into a press conference like Tua did and say, the market is the market. I'd like to have my contract adjusted. I think that I'm not the 30th highest. I shouldn't be the 30th highest paid tight end in the NFL. I think I shouldn't be the 50th highest paid defensive lineman in the NFL. Show up, save yourself the money, buy mom a new house, and just do nothing and talk.
Omar Kelly, future player agent.
Yeah.
Well, weren't you on what was that show on
Ballers.
HBO?
Yes, I was.
You were on Ballers.
Yeah.
What's your second?
Took me all day. But got to meet The Rock and do a scene with him, which was cool.
He wasn't physically as big as he is now. Now he's a massive man.
I think he was pretty big then too. Yeah, I don't think he was small because my scene required him to like bump into me. So yeah, he ain't small. Like you
took the wind out of you. What's the other two that you got, Omar, that you're looking forward to?
For me, and I wrote a column about this guy, Terrell Dotson. I make the argument, and Poupard probably disagrees with it. Like, even though he played last year, he's probably the biggest newcomer in addition on your defense. Primarily because here he is, a 100 tackle producer, 3 interception guy, a 2 sack guy. He really didn't play that much for you last season, but when he did play, he showed up. His presence was known, but there weren't a lot of wins when he showed up. I think he was 2-2 in the 4 games that he played. But I need to see him and Jordan Brooks develop some chemistry to the point where I have confidence in what they can do. I would also like to see during the minicamp these safeties, whoever they're going to be, Iffy, Ashton Davis, Elijah Campbell, and I encourage people not to sleep on Elijah Campbell. He is Anthony Weaver is an Elijah Campbell fan. Even the rookie
Mike Morris.
Jordan Colbert is in there, what's the rookie's name? Dante Trader. No, I'm talking about safeties.
Oh.
I need to see them actually come down with a ball because we definitely didn't see that all last year.
Yeah,
and it would be nice to see safeties actually make plays on balls.
Alan, what's your 3?
What Omar said. No, just kidding. I'm kidding.
You can give us one big one if you don't have 3.
No. I have 3. I did my homework. I was told, get your ass ready to discuss a topic. So that's what I did. Number one, this has nothing to do with my 3 things. But yeah, Omar, absolutely. I think Zach Sieler and Jonnu Smith will be there. I'm certainly not expecting Jalen Ramsey to be there. And in fact, I would suspect the Dolphins have told Jalen, you're good.
You're good. No need for fine. No need. Yeah, we're good. We're good. You ain't got to worry about it. Yeah, we're good. We all right.
You should show up anyway.
Right.
I'd be shocked if he showed up. Anyway.
Yeah.
I want to see especially after what I saw on Tuesday, which was very encouraging to me, Zach Wilson have another practice where he's zipping the ball and also making quick decisions, finding receivers open quickly, understanding that it's mini camp and there's a long way to go. I would like to see, not the safeties, I would like to see one other cornerback catch my eye as in, there's something there. That could be one of your starting guys. It would be beautiful if that happened to be Cam Smith. I know, Omar. I'm trying to be positive here. I'm saying that it happens.
All right. Yeah, it can happen.
Okay. And I want to see Nick Westbrook-Ikhine, who was brought in ostensibly to give the Dolphins a 3rd good wide receiver option, kind of show up and get noticeable. I like what I see from Malik Washington right now. Again, it's so insanely early. It might be stupid to say, but that's never stopped me before. I'm not so sure Malik Washington's not your 3rd wide receiver right now. So that's what I got.
PD?
3 things here. First, what I want the Dolphins to achieve. Figuring out this Jonnu and Sieler situation.
They need to be figured out right now.
No, it's got nothing to do with minicamp.
Like 2 months.
Yeah, but they need to figure it out sooner than later, and that's the problem. This is what I want, right? So I want them to figure it out so those guys can be out there.
How do you figure it out?
I trade them. I told you how I feel about the team.
You trade Jonnu and Zach?
Yeah.
You're trading.
Got to be clipped.
Yes.
Someone got to clip me and Omar.
How old is Sieler? How old is Sieler?
30. He's going to be 30 this year.
See, this is stuff I be talking about. Same thing I said 3 years ago when I said trade Xavier Howard now. While he's in his peak, this team ain't finna win a Super Bowl in the next 2 years. Get something now instead of getting nothing later. And you crazy? You want to trade? let me just go to my third thing on here then, and it'll explain everything. What I want the Dolphins to discover. I want them to discover that we are not going to be a Super Bowl contender. Discover that this year. We're not going to be a Super Bowl contender. And the reason why I say that is because if you know that, you're wasting another year on certain players' careers that you might as well go and get an asset now because they're not even going to be long-term with this team. By the time we're ready to win a Super Bowl again, Jonnu or Sieler ain't going to be on this team. So that's why I'm like, work smarter. If you know good and well we're not in a Super Bowl window right now.
What's a fourth-round pick going to do for you?
But it doesn't matter. It's maneuvering. It's assets. At the end of the day, if we're just trying to satisfy the fan base and get 8-9 wins and don't do nothing with it, okay. But I'm just looking for the biggest return when that new general manager and that new coach come in, where they got a clean slate. They don't have to waste the year to try to clean house. They could come in and actually start building. That's all. That's
So
what I hope they.
Sorry, Teddy. You want the Dolphins to tank with their current regime for the incoming regime that's going to replace them.
I don't want to use the term, I don't want to use the term tank. I just want to use the term go ahead, get all the assets you can now so you can prepare for a better future sooner.
How is that not tanking?
I mean, if you want to call it that, I'm just saying, go Mike McDaniel, this is your team, coach it anyway. If you have success, if you can show me that you can at least do what Flores did with nothing, then, maybe I can think about keeping you around. So I'm not looking to actually tank. Flores didn't tank. So, which a lot of people didn't like. I was never on the tank train, but I want a better future sooner. I don't want to go through this year and just play it out. And then next year, no Tyreek and Chubb. And then go through that year as we start our build. And then another year after that and start saying, now, 3 years later, let's start to compete again. No, I want a clean slate. So
you want to build now, meaning play young players now.
Thank you. See what you really have for the new regime versus that wasted season. Y'all know it's coming.
And why are you not trading Tyreek then?
Well, I'm with that too. But the financial implications, you may not be able to right now, but I'm all for trading Tyreek. My plan for Tyreek is trade him at the trade deadline.
You out here having a fire sale.
Yes, but again, what is are we kidding us?
You gotta give me a chance to succeed.
Omar, do you believe that this team is Super Bowl contenders this year?
I think that you could, and we've had this conversation. I think you could only name 5 teams that are Super Bowl contenders.
And I disagree.
Omar, did we start the 2024 season saying the Lions were Super Bowl contenders or Minnesota was Super Bowl contenders?
Detroit, yes.
You never know who could get hot at the right time, or whose game can go to the next level.
LA,
or who's gonna have a Ajayi. That's why you play it out. You give yourself a chance.
I definitely understand that, Omar. But until you position, first of all, I don't believe that there's only 5 teams. There's at least 10. But until there's at least 10. First of all, when you look at what some of these teams did in the offseason and in the draft, I could easily name 10. I can easily name 10.
Dare you?
Bowl contenders?
Dare you?
Yeah, they can. They have a chance to compete and do something. All right, Washington Commanders.
We have 3 votes to decide whether or not you get to keep your team.
Washington Commanders. Yes,
I reject that.
See, that's my point. Yes. If we're not even gonna let a team that went to the NFC Championship and load it up afterwards and say that they're
not, think they overachieved?
Doug, even if they did overachieve, did you not see what they did in free agency in the draft?
You can't dismiss them. You can't dismiss them after they reach the NFC.
Exactly.
Keep going.
No, 2 of you, not 3 of us. 2 of you.
That's the rule. 2 of the 3. If we get 2 of the 3, he doesn't get to keep them. Let's go, TD.
Listen, I got
Kansas City. I'll give you 1.
Kansas City, Baltimore, Buffalo, Washington Commanders. Those are the give-ins, okay? I didn't even say the Philadelphia Eagles. Another one that you're probably going to disregard, but they finally fixed their O-line and got another weapon, the Dallas Cowboys.
No, hold on. Let's take a roll.
The Dallas Cowboys?
I believe so.
We got 2 no votes. Or is there a third no vote?
So, okay, well, it doesn't have to be. This is what I believe.
All right.
The Cincinnati Bengals.
No, not yet.
I'll allow it.
I got to see what their defense does. I got to see what their defense does before.
So I will allow it. I will allow it. Just
so you get 2 for that.
The Rams.
No.
What?
Yes.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Oh, okay. No, but it's still ruled no.
Because
continue.
You guys don't know football. You don't know what you.
No. My thought process is these teams have to beat the other teams you've named to get into the Super Bowl.
I get it. Not everybody can get there, but they're contenders. One more win and they're possibly there.
5 teams.
You guys are dismissing out of hand a team that gave the Eagles a massive run in the playoff game with a defense that basically was babies with a quarterback who's a complete stud.
And I don't know what the hell. And there was a no vote. So
because apparently you guys are.
Let's move on. Let the panel move on. TD, you've got 5 more teams to name.
You're giving me reason to doubt your football knowledge.
We don't know ball.
Oh my God.
We'll be here all week.
All right. Come on,
first of all, we're at 8. But
no, you are not at 8.
We have rejected 3 of them.
In the Rams and Dallas.
Y'all dismissed 3 of them, but we're
and I said you have to get
the next 2. I'm interested in the next 2
to give you a vote so that we can accept them into the clubhouse.
What's the next 2? I want to know what the next 2 are.
Crazy to me.
You're wasting your time here because they're going to be like, no.
I already know they're going to fire it down, shoot it down right away.
I gave you the Bengals.
I didn't. But continue. What's the next 2?
49ers.
No.
I'll let them in.
Oh my gosh.
Hold on. Are you a no vote?
They got rid of way too much talent.
Are you a yes vote or no vote?
Yes vote.
Okay, you're at 6.
I'm at 9, Omar. Y'all just knocked down other ones.
You gotta get 2.
You just knocked down other ones that were legit.
No, sir. You're at 6.
Last one?
All right, we are at 8 that Allen approved.
Yeah,
Allen ain't got no reason to just give me the thumbs up just to do it. We're at 8 that Allen approved.
TD,
what's the last one?
Send the check to.
I got you. I got you. Who else?
Don't be helping them.
Green Bay.
Damn, I'll let you in. I'll let it in.
Yeah, I'll give you Green Bay.
You know, a team that's I'm not gonna quite. And maybe you could, but I'm not gonna quite put it there. They did a lot of work this offseason.
Who?
I just don't believe in their quarterback, the Arizona Cardinals.
No,
I'm just saying they did a lot this offseason.
I would do probably like the Jets or the Patriots over the Cardinals.
But I'm at 9 Allen approved, and 10 is a no-brainer. According to y'all, the Miami Dolphins. No, but it's hard for me to go 10. I mean, I would throw the Bucks. I would throw the Bucks in. I would throw the Bucks in at 10, but it's a little. Yeah, but I don't know. You know why I say contenders? Teams that have gotten out of the first round and they can grow from that. They're all contenders. That's how I look at it.
Back from a talent standpoint, not everybody takes a step forward.
I agree.
I would argue to you that Dallas hasn't taken a step forward. Dallas lost a lot of pieces.
No. See, Dallas lost a lot of the old pieces. They have revamped their O-line in the draft, and they just got another additional weapon.
Yeah, but also, do you believe in their head coach?
That's the only wild card. We don't know. We don't know.
And the head coaches, there's always a transitional period.
Yeah.
So,
I haven't seen another team that can be contending, a great coach, second year, Harbaugh Chargers.
I'm not there yet.
Herbert's defense from 32 to a top 5.
Herbert's got to get over that hump.
Yeah, well, I mean, what did they do?
Am I wrong, Alan? How many playoff games has that man won?
We're just waiting for that one. That's funny.
But I got the Chargers in this as well. We're gonna.
Omar, I forgot.
We're not including Minnesota.
For every other quarterback,
we're not including Minnesota because of the quarterback situation. But that team is built to continue to compete that way. It's just we don't know what the quarterback's gonna be.
But
I know I've gotten the 10. No, I know I got the 10.
I give you 7.
Alan, how many do you give me, Alan? That's all that matters. Y'all biased.
He's at 7.
Did you mention Houston, TD?
I ain't even mentioned Houston. I ain't even mentioned the Steelers. Technically, they are contenders.
There's a donation asking about the Steelers. I'll get to mine, and then we'll get to the donations because we only got like 10 minutes left.
I got
but I want you guys to see this comment real quick because it made me laugh really hard. Huntley brought Jonnu's game to life, so trading him wouldn't hurt because Tua didn't know what to do with him until we saw Huntley use him.
That wasn't Tua's problem. That was Jonnu's problem.
Jonnu's best games
basically said he didn't know the offense.
Jonnu's best games were with Tua at quarterback. Like
he broke out with Huntley though. That second game, his second game with Huntley, he broke out.
Indiana.
Well, I forgot which game.
Raiders game, 101 yards, 2 touchdowns. Green Bay game, 113 yards.
That wasn't before Huntley though. That was after.
Indy, yeah, I'll give you Indy. 96 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah, that's when he broke out. That was his.
It wasn't Huntley that. Good.
Can I throw in a different factor here? Is the Dolphins in the first couple of games were trying to force feed Tyreek and then once Tua went out, and then it was like, okay, let's dink and dunk. And then when Tua came back, it was still a lot of dink and dunk. Boom, Jonnu explodes.
Did y'all hear what Tyreek said on the about punching McDaniel in the face?
That's old Tyreek trolling.
No, that was recent. He was like, man, I was finna punch McDaniel in the face.
I think that was before because it was an Aiden Ross live stream. I think it was recorded like back in like May, and then it just got released. But still, it's anyway. My 3 things that I want to see at minicamp. Obviously, who's going to show up? Who's not going to show up? Like I'm pretty sure all 4 of us are really interested to see will they be there. And I did read your article on my show today, Omar, talking about how you get affected. You know, the longer you're out, the more money you get fined. Second thing is I want to see what's going on with the secondary, and does Greer need to pull the trigger and go out and get some corners, plural. And my third thing is the backup quarterbacks. I'm very interested to see if Zach Wilson can continue the success he had when you guys last saw him. And I really want to see what yours can do because I think he can be really good in this offense. I would prefer yours as the backup, but I want to see that happen. I want to see them get more familiar with this offense and get better.
Well, the money going to make Zach it anyway, right?
Yeah, he's starting. He's the backup.
Yeah, and I think your attendance question is pretty, to me, it's almost a slam dunk that Sieler and Jonnu are going to show up, but Jalen Ramsey's not going to be there.
Oh, and I had one more, Cam Smith and Channing Tindall. Figure out what you believe their future is with the team right away. So, because I don't want you to wait to training camp to find out and then try to get somebody. We need whoever we want to put in that position there for training camp.
Channing Tindall's the 5th inside linebacker.
Thank you.
Yeah, but is he gonna make the roster?
I don't know. I don't think they care or even counting on him. And I would say the same thing about Cam Smith, unfortunately.
Yeah, but I feel like these guys take roster spots that we could utilize.
If we're Channing Tindall's final preseason game where he absolutely balled out and showed some glimmer of hope, that's what saved him. I don't think this team gives 2 Fs about Channing Tindall or Eric Udukama or Cam Smith. Like I can tell you right now, Isaiah Johnson has just as much of an opportunity to start as Cam Smith does, or Kendall Sherfield. Like you could name anybody, and they probably have just as much, if not better, of a chance to start than Cam Smith. I think Cam Smith has run out of lifelines.
Where do we draft?
I will tell you that Channing Tindall made the roster last year because of special teams. It wasn't because I respectfully will tell you that to me, I think that good preseason showing didn't matter much because he played 5 snaps on defense all year.
So before we get to the donations, I need to ask TD this question because TD is the one who give it straight. No trolling. I need an honest answer out of you, TD. Is Tua terrible?
At what?
At playing quarterback for the Dolphins. Is he terrible?
No, Tua's not terrible at all, man. Tua, this is what y'all need to realize. Now, when you get mad on a Sunday if he do something bad, yeah, you say some crazy things like that, like me. But Tua is the furthest thing from terrible.
Thank you.
But he's the worst quarterback you can have. And that's what I keep telling people. The quarterbacks that are good enough not to be good enough, they the ones keep you in purgatory. Them like they're not bad at all. They actually good, but not good enough to be good enough. And you just like, oh, you can't give up on that.
They can Matt Ryan you and 1 year be good enough.
Matt Ryan or Andy Dalton you.
I agree with that.
Give you 11 years with stats, but did it ever amount to anything?
I agree with
Andy
you.
Dalton is the better comp, and that's my point.
That's
they are not
fair,
bums.
Man.
They can throw the football. They can do their job, but they ain't carrying nothing. So
okay.
So CCRR, I don't know what I'd be realizing because who is not terrible. Let's get to these donations. Ricardo with the $2 donation says, is it K to go up and say hi to the press during camp?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Training camp,
pictures.
just especially during teams.
Everybody.
That's my nap time.
I believe you got flagged
coming to see Omar.
See, I actually pay attention during
Hey, don't sit by Omar. Some people coming to see it.
When I'm down there, because I'm going down there for 2 training camps, I'm taking a nap during special teams now.
You get 2 periods to recalibrate and readjust. And I'm looking for a good fan too. I need one of those Joe Shad fans. Joe, you saw Joe had 2 fans on him the other day.
Oh no, I didn't. He had 2 now.
Yeah, he's got 2 now. I'm
smart.
like, it is smart. I need to get you see, I'm wearing my camp fatigues. I was about to buy. I saw in Costco they had this straw hat, and hats don't fit my head because I have like a Joe Roche size head. It's not Poupard-esque though. But man, it looks like that hat was gonna cover me because I've been sunburned lately, like sun poison, not sunburned, sun poison.
It's the worst.
Dude, we get that during player interviews. It's not during practice because we're covered during practice. It's the player interviews outside afterwards that get us.
I was shooting a movie and I had to be the deflector, so I had the big silver thing to deflect the sun because we were outside. My face was oozing. I got sun poisoning from being the deflector. It's the worst. Absolutely hate it. Sandstorm with the $5 donation says, hey guys, do you think McDaniel has already been fired and the only reason he's still here is because we can't move off of his contract yet?
Absolutely not.
I don't think that has anything to do.
I think if they did what TD wants them to do, that's like a losing situation, trying to get rid of everything to get what you can now. That's why not saying it's the wrong thing to do, TD. I just don't think they will do it because it's like Greer McDaniel being like, fire me. Here, we're going to get rid of all these.
Unless they've been given a green light and they have been given job security.
Continuity.
Tell you that ain't happening.
Continuity. It's not good enough to play on the field. Roberto with the $5 donation. What do you guys think about Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers? Kind of surprised he didn't retire an interesting week 15 matchup. No, week 1, he got Justin Fields taking on the Steelers, Aaron Rodgers taking on the Jets. I think I don't like Aaron Rodgers anymore. I think he's a little pompous and I don't like the me attitude. Especially because the quote was, he was like, I'll come and sign now before minicamp. If I was the Steelers, I'd be like, kick rocks. Hey, Falcons, what do you want for Kirk Cousins? Like,
then they're stuck with Mason Rudolph, so no.
I don't like the way he runs things, and like with the Jets, how he was like, okay, you got to bring Lazard in, you got to bring this guy in, you got to get Cobb in, and then I'll come. It's like,
but that was the Jets' behavior. He hasn't acted like that, and you can't operate like that with the Pittsburgh Steelers. So, I'm not a fan of Aaron Rodgers, but I think he's still a dangerous quarterback. And I would say this, and I said this on Twitter. If you believe he's washed, go watch those 2 Dolphins games.
Those were his 2 best games.
Huh?
Those were his 2 best games of the season.
Well,
and that's a top 10 defense.
But here's what a lot of people like to forget too, because Aaron Rodgers, I see 12 wins this year for Pittsburgh, and he's gonna make a difference. And let me tell you,
so mad.
Yeah, but the Jets gave up too soon, and here's why. Why do we sit here and act like this man didn't come fresh off of an Achilles? Like he was just supposed to come right back and just MVP status.
But he told you he was a miracle healer.
Yeah, I get that, but anybody with just general, like the norm, right? It'll tell you as the season went on, he actually did get better and better. He was improving as the season went on with New York. So I think
can we be real and admit that New York was a team that was fluttering and going nowhere and without leadership?
Yeah,
that whole season,
100%.
Yep.
Especially when that whole thing with him and Salah, where he pushed Salah, and then they tried to act it off like, "Oh no, we were having fun."
How many wins did Pittsburgh have last year?
9.
9 and 8.
9.
Yeah, they'll never be under 500.
Yeah, they getting at least 2 more.
Are y'all trading a first round pick for Mike Tomlin?
Yeah.
Who, Miami?
I would.
Yeah.
A first round pick for Mike Tomlin. If we got Mike Tomlin, I could stomach another year to him.
I didn't ask you that question. I asked you, are you
because I would have hope. I would actually start having hope into him.
I didn't ask you that question. Are you trading a first round pick for Mike Tomlin?
At this stage right here, right now, yes, because we ain't doing nothing with it for the next 2-3 years anyway.
Poop.
Not a top 5 pick.
Oh, top 5. That's different.
The back end of the first half of the first round.
Not even the top 10, maybe 15 on.
10,
if you get Tomlin now, it's gonna be because he'll take it at least to 9 and 8.
I would do it, and I'm gonna tell you now, if the Pittsburgh Steelers are doing bad this year, and Miami's doing bad, that's something they need to potentially hop on right away.
How many years?
Storm with the 5 said, didn't Burrow get hurt the year 2 outperformed him? I think so. I think 2023.
Omar.
Had a wrist injury.
Yeah, that doesn't hurt your case even further, Omar.
Wow.
Hey, these celebrities.
The Food family with the $20 donation. Shout out to you guys. The great show, guys. If Tua has an MVP season but misses a few games with injury at the end and Zach Wilson wins us a playoff game, then what for next year? Do we ship Zach like the Eagles did with Foles? If Tua gets hurt again, he's gone. That's my opinion. I can't do it anymore. I can't do him constantly getting hurt. So for me, he's gone. And then you get a quarterback in 2026 with that draft.
Can I do that joke real quick?
Sure.
The Foo family, I hope you keep getting along and don't become the Foo Fighters. Thank you.
Hey, y'all ain't checked them out on TikTok? Y'all haven't checked them out on TikTok?
No, I don't have TikTok.
I'm going to.
Omar, by the way, the Foo Fighters is a rock band.
Yes, I know. I couldn't name
the Foo Fighters. Okay.
Yeah, the Foo family big time on TikTok. Y'all better.
Nice.
You don't know now, you know.
Sanchez with the 5 says our season is saved. We got Ben Still. Greer on fire. I honestly, when they signed him, I was like, "Oh!"
And you didn't even know he was here.
He was with the Dolphins.
Matt, with the $10 donation. Sorry if too off topic. Nothing's too off topic. We started off topic. But is there a reason the Dolphins feel compelled to trade Ramsey for pennies on the dollar versus rolling the dice on repairing a relationship later on? There's no relationship to repair. That's the problem. It's
all right, Poupard, go ahead for that one. Go ahead.
The bridge is burned.
The serious answer is there might be collateral damage in trying to fix the relationship based on everything that we know and have heard, instead of just cutting off their losses right now. Is that about right, Omar?
I stand on this and continue to say this. I've never met a player that an organization was more scared of than the Dolphins and Jalen Ramsey.
Sue a little bit too. Dominican a little bit too.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I can see that because Dominican bullied his own teammates, though. I've never seen Jalen do that.
Yeah.
He just bullies his coaches.
O'Shea McMorris with the big $20 donation. He said, "Good work, brothers. Keep it up." I really appreciate that, man.
Salute.
Hey, O'Shea's a real one. Hey, O'Shea.
Gary Williams with the 5 says, "I would argue that this year's team is better than 2023 man for man." I disagree.
Gary,
the Dolphins have a very good quarterback room.
Gary, you need to share. And TD's disappeared.
I disagree.
Gary, you got to make that argument we don't have much of a show, but
yeah, we're over 5 minutes.
Shane
McMorris throwing another 10. Jeez. Omar, to your point that Flo would have lost the team by starting Rosen. Who cares? You were tanking, and most of those players would have been gone the next year anyway. It's a good point.
There is a valid point to be made, except for Flores was very adamant that, hey, you could sabotage me all you want, but I'm going to go try and win a game on Sunday with whatever you give me.
And he did.
And
that's the one thing I give Flores a lot of credit
That's
for.
the one thing that I actually do believe. Like, they were tanking. He was not tanking.
And here's the part that was very, very tricky, because ideally you would have liked to hire a coach who was on board with the tanking. And it's not like you can go during the interview process. By the way, Brian, we want to hire you, but we're going to be tanking. You good with that?
Listen, if we would have,
it should have been an unwritten, understood.
Yeah, like a little nudge, wink, wink.
If we would have tanked, Flores would still be our coach.
No.
Yeah,
he would have. He wouldn't. Yeah, he would. He wouldn't have had somebody.
He would have created a beef with Joe Burrow.
No,
bro. Listen. That man was very hard to get along with.
And guess what? When you performing at a high level, all of that goes out the window, man. See, this is what y'all don't want to talk about. When you performing at a high level, I ain't got to pick on you. You doing your job. I don't have no reservations. I don't got to nitpick and get all nasty with you. So, I mean, I think you would have still been the coach.
Well, Noel B thinks
his issue was everybody. One, I disagree with you because he wouldn't have been able to hire an offensive coordinator. And the word is just the word.
You mean by that one that he can keep?
No, I don't think he was able to hire an offensive coordinator. Like Chan Gailey was hired by Greer, and when he left, he was like, "Yeah, I can't work with this dude. I'm out." And nobody wanted to take that job after Chan left.
Yeah,
why you ended up with
two OCs after that. That's when they had two OCs after Chan Gailey.
Two OCs, and then they knew they had to move on with the two OCs, and he couldn't hire anybody. Like, who was he going to hire?
How many OCs he had?
4,
3.
Like counting the year, he had 2, 4.
Yeah. Chad O'Shea, Chan Gailey, Eric Stootsville.
I mean, we counting the first year.
George.
Yeah, that was his homie.
Chad O'Shea. Yeah,
he hired and fired his homie.
Yeah, he fired homies too.
Yeah. His best friend ran away from him.
Are we not doing the same thing with the DCs now?
No, that Patrick Graham ran away from him. Patrick Graham is his best friend in the world, and he was like, "Yeah, I can't work for you, bro. I'm out." After one season, come on, y'all need.
Yeah, he went to the Giants and took the same role.
Y'all need to put some reality to the Flores talk. Like, that man has hope. Hopefully there's a lot of growth and development and therapy that has taken place.
He's a great defensive coordinator, great defensive coordinator.
Yep.
No B thinks that TD needs to work on his inspirational speaking skills.
Well, who being inspirational?
Ohio John with the $5 says, "Hey, any of the rookies show signs of leadership ability the team is in need of?" No, they're rookies.
No, we're not gonna see that in the spring, especially in anybody's first spring. That would be a special kind of dude.
Devin Jordan with the $5 says, "Sorry if you guys already answered this question, but do they get a new deal done with Sieler before training camp?" I hope so. I don't know if they do. I hope so.
I think you have to send a message to your locker room that, hey, we are going to take care of guys. Like, to me, if you don't put an offer of $9 million a year on the table for Jonnu, he doesn't have to accept it, but you need to have it on the table. And if he doesn't accept it, that's his business. But the same thing with Sieler. You got to put an offer of at least $17 million.
Now that's different,
huh?
Yeah, and you think they're doing either of those?
I think they are.
See,
I think they will. I think they will. I think they will.
Sieler, absolutely.
Yeah,
because with the Jonnu situation, Sieler's tied up for 2 more years.
20 something,
but he ain't got 2 years of guarantees.
And the whole Jonnu situation is
29 TD.
What?
29.
He's in his age.
Yeah, they're both in their 30s, but I don't worry about Sieler's age, and I really don't worry about Jonnu's age. I'm not signing either of them for longer than 3-year deals. So
here's the thing: last year, just as a point of reference, last year when the Dolphins redid the contracts of Tyreek Hill and Jalen Ramsey, that both got done in early September, right before the start of the regular season. So just keep that in mind.
Birthday Salami with the tenor says, no way that Steelers deal does not get done considering what's behind him. I would like to see Jordan Phillips as a DE. I think he's too small.
Not a
also, I'm with Coco Beware. Clear eyes can see that this is a transition year. You're never going to live that down. Irving with the 5 says, love J-Dub, and I believe he is a legit wide receiver 1. However, do you guys think he has what it takes to be a wide receiver 1? And you guys think he'll supersede Tyreek Hill? I think he has what it, like next year when Tyreek's not here, I think Waddle can be a 1.
He ain't supersede Tyreek.
Are we saying supersede or are we saying succeed?
Be a number 1. He could be a number. He is a number.
Not a number 1 as long as Tyreek's on the roster.
Yeah, no, Tyreek is number 1, but when Tyreek's not here, I think he has the ability to be our number 1 receiver.
I need to see Jalen Waddle dominate a practice.
Okay.
He's been doing that, Omar.
When?
From reports from those who are there, he's had some phenomenal days.
He caught passes because the ball was thrown his direction, and he got open, and it was.
It's Cam Smith, brother.
Alan, is that you?
It wasn't really that big.
Brushing it off.
Yes, I'm brushing it off, and it's not like Jalen Waddle hasn't had good practices before, because Jalen Waddle can fly, and in a practice setting like this where he's not getting jammed at the line of scrimmage. Yeah, he's going to catch, but he's going to have days where he catches a lot of balls. I mean, that's
Silent Storm with the 5 says, question: if Tua goes down and Zach comes in and balls out, do we go back to Tua? I stay with the hot hand.
You're never ever going to be done with Tua as long as Mike McDaniel's your head coach.
What Omar said,
which is the problem.
Irving with the 2 says, with BJ, Isaiah Johnson, and Jay Marsh, more press this season.
It's not what Weaver does, though. That's not.
They're practicing it a lot. I don't know if that's what's going to stick. I don't know what they're really doing or what. It's hard. It's impossible to tell. It's really impossible
with these corners.
Yeah. It's. I mean, there's some practices have an ebb and a flow to them, and there are certain themes to certain days. We don't see all the days. We've never seen a red zone day. We've never seen a goal to go day. We've never seen a hurry up day. We've never seen a come from behind day. We've never seen a inside run day. We haven't seen a pressure package day. These are all things that happen on a daily, weekly basis. We're only invited 1 day a week. So what we get on that day is what we get on that day. You understand what I'm saying? I don't know if I'm making myself clear to everybody. So it's hard to sit there. When you've seen all of training camp, then you have a good picture and understanding of what everybody can do, strengths and weaknesses. You play off of that. Right now, I couldn't tell you whether they're playing zone or man. I couldn't tell you whether they're a pressure team. I couldn't tell you, if I think the safeties are moving around a little bit. But offensively, they're going to have a completely different identity than what we've seen so far because they're a completely different team.
Silent Storm with the 10 says, also hot take, I don't think Chiefs win the division. I think it goes to Denver or the Chargers. You know how many times we've heard that?
And anybody but the Chiefs from here. Please, anybody but the Chiefs. Enough.
Right. Timothy Kessler, new member. Also, he gave 10 memberships out.
Salute.
Look at you, man. Ryan with the 5 says, Tua isn't the issue. Team is built wrong. Greer, Mike, interior O-line, and run are the issuers. Everything fix those, and Tua eats middle of the field. We don't have time to go in depth with that. Just love the comment and love the donation.
Until the team around him is perfect.
Max with the $10 Canadian.
Salut,
Alan, you want to read the first 2 sentences on this one?
Salut, Alain. Très bon podcast. Also a big fan of Omar from the Mob Days. Any of you planning to attend the Madrid game? Max from Montreal. Shout out to Montreal. Omar's going. TD's going.
TD going to Madrid?
Nice.
Yeah.
That thing is expensive.
I got no money.
Company paying for it.
YouTube doesn't pay that much. Anyway, Devin Jordan with the $20 donation. Great show, guys. Keep up the great work. Is there any chance the Dolphins cut Ramsey if they can't find a fair trade deal? I'm pretty sure somebody will give like a 7th for him.
I think his contract is guaranteed. Pupard?
Yeah, I think you can only trade him. You'll deal with cap implications.
21 mil guaranteed he's got left.
Hey, Eddie, what's happening, big dog? Eddie says Jarvis Landry came in with the dog leadership qualities as a rookie, right? I assume that's the exception, not the rule. Jarvis was not actually a leader as a rookie. Jarvis played his role, and he became a leader in his 2nd season.
And he was an absolute dog.
Yes.
If they cut Ramsey, it's a negative 14 million. If they trade him, it's a 5 million.
That's not important. It's more of a caps. It's more of a. I think he's got guaranteed money. I think that they still have to pay him.
Yeah,
correct.
Nuclear Nick, I can't wait to see this group during the season. It's going to be good. Mark my words. Me and TD were talking about that before we came on. This is going to be dangerous during the season.
Hold up here one quickly. I'm just looking at it. Ramsey's cap number is currently at 16.67. If they cut him post June 1, it's 31 million, which means not happening.
And then birthday salami with the $5. Does the guidance counselor really have the respect of the players?
He's not the guidance counselor.
Who is the guidance counselor?
It's a substitute teacher.
Y'all talking about McDaniel again?
Yeah. I think the respect of the players is a very tricky question because respect of a team is a very fragile state. And I've covered teams where guys have lost it during the season. So I've covered teams where guys didn't even go into the season. Joe Philbin shouldn't have been retained the year he was retained, and his team played and practiced like it. Mm-hmm. And then when he got fired and replaced by Dan Campbell, then they were like, all right, time to actually try. Like, teams are very clear when they don't want a coach back. Mm-hmm. I have asked around. There is a ridiculous exodus that has taken place. But what remains here are the players that believe in Mike.
Exodus
what remains and what is invited to be back.
Anyway, that's going to be our episode. We will see you guys next week at the start of minicamp. You could check out Omar Kelly on the Miami Herald, Alan Poupart, Sports Illustrated Dolphins, and All Dolphins Talk podcast. TD Fins Talk, youtube.com/TD Fins Talk, and Roundtable Sports. You can check me out at youtube.com/DouglyDoWrong. But we getting out of here. We went over about 17 minutes and I'm getting yelled at. So we will, Eddie, real quick. I'll throw this in real quick. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to support our guys. I appreciate you, Eddie, in the Fiverr.
Eddie is a social media guru, baby. So if he tells you it's important, trust me, it's very important.
See you guys Tuesday.